Hi, everybody. This is John Ann's again with Ashtonwood House Concerts, and we are just on the precipice of opening our ninth season, unbelievably, of Ashtonwood House Concerts. We do so on March 28th, just a little bit more than a week from now, that Saturday night, and we've got a very, very special performance and party planned. We have got not one, but two piano and voice duos coming in, some of our favorite performers and some of our favorite people. And we're going to chat with some of them right now. So let's bring in Tyler Henderson and Anya Sengupta. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Very well, thanks. Um, so, needless to say, everybody here at the house is really excited for you guys to come play and perform and party and what other things may come to pass. But again, we do these little chats for people that may not know you as well as they should or as well as they will one day. Um, so again, let's just start with some really basic things. Tyler and Anya, tell us a little bit about yourself, and how we got to this place.
Sure. Do you want me to go first? Okay, sure. I was born and raised in New Delhi in India, and was I grew up kind of singing in choir and stuff, and then I was very fortunate to when I did start taking voice lessons in ninth grade. I had a wonderful teacher, and she's really the reason that I became a singer and became a musician. Our first lesson, she showed me Ella Fitzgerald's recording of Skylark,
It's a
and
good
I was
start.
like, I know, and I was like, and that was the first song I ever learned, which was a tough pick, but um, but yeah, I just remember listening to it in our lesson, and then I was like, who is that? Like, what? How is she doing that? And what a beautiful song. And like, what is going on? And I just became hooked on Ella Fitzgerald. And so she was really my introduction to this music. And I would like be in the car or at home and just listening over and over again. And then at
Now,
some point I said,
were these intended to be jazz voice lessons or just voice lessons?
no, no, these were intended to be just voice lessons. Like
Okay.
if anything, um it was like I guess like pop and
Yeah.
R&B stuff, but that changed very quickly.
Yeah. Got it.
So yeah, at some point I was like, oh wait, like other people also play jazz music besides Ella Fitzgerald. And so yeah, and then I um, came to the US to go to the Oberlin Conservatory of Music. And so that was in 2021, and I loved it there. It was a very formative time for me musically. My teachers were all absolutely wonderful. I studied with Latanya Hall, Eddie Henderson, Gary Bartz, and Gerald Cannon. And I just graduated, and now I go to Juilliard. I'm getting my master's
Were you at
degree.
Oberlin for 4 years?
I was,
Okay.
yes. Yeah,
Great.
yeah, yeah. So I graduated in 2025, and I'm almost done with my first year at Juilliard.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, what's your deal?
Well, okay, I'm from Central New York. I was born in Central New York. Oneonta is the town. And the way I got started with piano was someone had donated a piano from the church that my parents went to, and they decided to take it for whatever reason and put it in the house. I think just so that our house could look cooler, probably, and give me something to do. And I ended up just playing for hours on it with like no plan or no real. I was kind of improvising from the start in a way. And I think many people who play piano started in that way.
Hmm.
Um, so I started there. I didn't really do lessons or reading for a long time until I kind of got into middle school. I played saxophone. I played French horn in middle school. I played some guitar as well. And then I really discovered jazz through Vince Guaraldi's Christmas music.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So through him, I discovered jazz, and I used the internet to figure out what other jazz artists or what other jazz music sounded like. And then I kind of went on my own journey personally, discovering jazz artists and just doing a lot of research. I was very curious and research oriented, I think, like as a child, and I still am in a way, but that got me into it. And then, so I didn't really have jazz lessons per se. I did with a local piano player who was really nice, but like I didn't fully get into what I do now until I went to high school, which was in Houston, Texas. So my family and I, we all moved to Houston, Texas. My sister and I both went to this performing arts high school in
So
Texas.
that is funny. That answers one of my questions. I did not know the answer to whether you, I didn't know if this was like a boarding school, sort of boarding prep school, performing arts school, but that's not it. You all
No,
moved out and
no,
lived
there's
there.
no dorms or anything. It's just like a public. It's technically a public school that has an audition process. So
Wow.
it's not even a private like paid school or anything. It's just like a you can go there. It's part of the public school system in Houston, and but it has a good jazz program or it has
Well, it must have some pretty good reputation if that's on anybody's radar living in central New York.
yeah. So but yeah, we auditioned and I think it was kind of us doing something like trying to forward our musical careers probably was the impetus to it.
Great. Uh, and
And then I
then,
went to Juilliard.
yep.
Yep, starting in 2019, so right before the pandemic, I started at Juilliard. That was my freshman year. I went back because my mom now lives in Oneonta, where I grew up.
Okay.
I went back to Oneonta for 6 months in 2020. Then I came back here at the start of my sophomore year, and yeah, really just have I've been here ever since, which is now 7 years. And yeah,
So, um, and you're now out of Juilliard,
yeah,
obviously.
I did 5 years, and I got a combined master's. Well, I got a bachelor's and master's combined degree.
Great.
Yeah,
So, um, we heard the early influences for Anya was Ella, and for you was
Vince Guaraldi.
Vince Guaraldi.
Yeah.
Um, what since then, since those earliest times, who are the people that you've come across in your studies that have made a difference or had a lasting impact on where you are now?
Do you want to answer it or?
You got it.
Okay, so after that, it was Bill Evans for me,
Yeah.
and I mean, all of my influences pervade into now. Like even Vince Guaraldi, there's parts of my playing, or at least just my aesthetics, that I still love about him, and so I would still count him as like one of my current influences in a way. And Bill Evans certainly, like his material is always something I use, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but then I think as I got older, I really got more into Bud Powell, who is probably like he's kind of like the first, you know, he's one of the roots of a tree basically, and a lot of my favorites come from this root, which is Bud Powell.
Yeah.
And then I would say Ahmad Jamal. Aesthetically, I love his choices. Cedar Walton, I really just like his
Okay.
writing, and I like his, he's like a true working man's pianist, so I like him for that. And I
Awesome.
like the teaching and the playing of Barry Harris.
Yeah.
And yeah, others. I mean, I really like everyone who's good at playing jazz piano. Like anyone who's good at it, there's something I like about it.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say my biggest influence besides Ella Fitzgerald is definitely Sarah Vaughan. Um, she, I started studying her in a deeper way once I got to college, and that's been, I'm sure, will be a lifelong journey. Um, I also am very inspired by Nancy Wilson. I like Carmen McRae.
Yeah.
She's a huge influence on me. Um, Abby Lincoln, who's someone that I always loved listening to, but whose music I've more recently like actually sat down and
Right.
taken a deep dive into the music that she wrote. That is, um, and then Charlie Parker and Sonny Rollins,
Great.
um, who are probably the people that I've transcribed the most.
Wonderful.
But yeah, I feel similarly in that I it's important to me to know as many different singers that came before me as possible,
Great.
and so I'm always Nat King Cole. Um,
Sure, thanks,
is
man.
has been
Yeah,
yeah
it's a good list.
yes,
Yeah.
Nat King Cole has been immensely important to my development as a singer.
Yeah,
Um,
and he has a little something to offer pianists as well. He certainly
yes,
knew his way around the keyboard too.
certainly,
Yeah.
yes, and then Billie
So
Holiday, yeah.
in so Tyler, you also recently put out, you just got I think your first album CD is
Yep.
out, right?
Love endures.
Um and and I don't mean to necessarily blend these two. And Anya, I think what last year you competed in the Ella competition.
I did.
So with the stuff that you're doing now, obviously starting to gig, Anya starting to gig a little bit, went through the Ella competition, and obviously now Tyler having you know touring a lot, playing with a lot of different ensembles, your own and your own trio included, and the CD. Um, are, I don't want to make you pick and choose, but is there, now that you're doing more in music than just studying in school, are these all good growth experiences for you guys? Are there things that you like more than others? Performing live versus recording, and then eventually we'll talk about the larger ensemble formats versus something as intimate as a house concert party, since that's what we're here to talk about.
There you go. Are you saying what's like my favorite ensemble
Well,
or
it's just I
favorite?
mean, given that you're doing a lot, I mean,
Yeah,
there may
right.
be things that you like, and again, not to ditch anything but what really, you know, what really jazzes you about playing? Is it the recording? Is it the writing? Is it or is it just a late night at Mesro?
Oh, a late night at Mesro. You're kind of hitting the nail on the head. I think for me, it's like a feeling that maybe you could get from a recording. The process of recording, I don't love it. I love what could happen from the outcome.
Mm,
Like Love Endures, my album, there's certainly parts of it that I really have a hard time listening to just because I'm like, can I just go back and shake? Like, can't I just go back in time to that one moment and like make my fingers do exactly what I wanted them to do? And I just recorded another album, so
oh, great.
I have moments, the same sort of moments that I've been dealing with as I've been listening to the rough takes.
Right.
But what I am looking for, or what I love the most, is like the feeling of that warm feeling where you're with your loved ones, you're listening to music, and you feel like you don't have to worry about real life for a minute. That's what I seek out in every context. And I think, yeah, like I try not to get too much musician specific. Like the more I can think about it, like I don't play music, the better that feeling is gonna come out, and the more I'm gonna enjoy even all
Right.
of these experiences. Because the truth is, I love playing in every context. Like I play a lot with John Pizzarelli, which is no drums. It's guitar and bass and piano.
Wow.
And I was just on the jazz cruise with him, and it was really fun, but it's definitely a different experience. But I was trying to bring that feeling to it, and he always does. So yeah, it's more for me. It's trying to imbue whatever ensemble I'm in with that feeling of warmth and just being around people you love. And music is like a yeah.
Great. Well, so Anya, just talk a little bit about the various things that you do and the things that either, how that's been interesting. I mean, again, I'm sort of I don't know what happens in the being in the Ella competition. I don't was that a really cool experience? Was it, weird? Was it,
um, I I really enjoyed making friends. It was my first and only competition I've ever done, and I sort of entered being like, okay, like I'm just gonna send them like these like voice memos and whatever and see what happens. And then it was actually the day of my Juilliard audition, so a year ago, and it was like, oh, you're a finalist. And I was like, okay, like, okay, like, what do I do now? Um, and actually, Tyler was on tour with Benny Benack III at the time through the Midwest. And so they actually very kindly went out of their way to come to Oberlin so that Tyler could record my videos for the competition because you have to just like record 3 songs, 3 videos,
So
and
it's
send
all
it in.
submitted
So
remotely.
it's all remote, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was very grateful for that, and that was such a fun day. Um, and yeah, and then I was the runner up, which was wonderful. But yeah, I think like just I met like some of my like favorite fellow singers and who have now become very close friends, like my friend Ale Nunez, who's in New York right now actually, and I'm gonna like go hang out with her later. So yeah, I
Oh,
think
that's
just
yeah. Well,
so
that's
I
great.
think yeah, just making friends was wonderful, and
So that is wonderful. So turning to Ashtonwood, which does not quite have, I'm sure, the viewership or the promotional backing that the Ella competition does, um, uh, but uh, and obviously is a much smaller both venue as well as you guys are going to be there just piano and voice. Um, is that a again, is that just another ensemble, iteration that you both like, or is there something special about it? Or I know it's a little bit tougher sometimes on the pianist because you're probably trying to do a little bit more to pretend you've got a little bit more of an ensemble there, whether you're
to make me sound good.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
tough.
Um, I know pianists always say, it'd be nice if I had a bass behind me because otherwise I'm actually doing more. But so talk about piano and voice and playing something as intimate as a house concert.
You wanna go or?
Yeah, I love playing duo with a pianist. I think every vocalist does. It is it's just I think the most intimate musical setting that you could possibly have, and it's I think a rare delight to play a duo with someone like Tyler who's very sensitive to a vocalist when he's playing with them. He loves playing songs, and it's I think unusual to find someone who knows songs as well and as deeply as Tyler does. And so that's always just it's just so fun. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Well, thank you for your kind words. And
Well,
I'd love
and Tyler, we should just say you actually, while this will be Anya's first time, and hopefully not the last, but the first time to Ashtonwood, you actually are an Ashtonwood alum.
I am. I was gonna mention that in talking about playing duets or playing piano and voice, because I played piano in 3 voices. I was outnumbered actually
Yes, that's right.
by the voices last time I was there with the Sunhouse Singers. That was so fun. Me personally, yeah, and I'm not just saying this because like I want to be like, oh, I'm, I don't need it, but don't. I've gotten to the point now where I don't necessarily miss a bass or drums with duets because I don't think of it like I don't even think of the possibility of having them when I play with
Okay.
duo with a singer. I almost think like this is all I have, so I shouldn't wish for more while it's um and and I just, yeah, I love it. I love, first of all, I love playing ballads. That's like one of my favorite things of all time. And I think doing it in a duet setting, you can just create a world that you can't create with like a band. Also, I like to change stuff like whenever I want. And I know if you know the melody, you can you can really create these moments where you change the harmony just enough that it's still the song, but it creates a pivotal moment where you know like your heart can drop or your heart can or you can feel, oh my god, something just lifted. So that's kind of what I'm looking for is to, juice the emotions out of the song, basically. And being only the piano player without a bassist, it allows me to do more effective juicing, basically. Yeah.
Nice. So without giving the set list away, because even I don't know necessarily your duo repertoire together. Um, sounds like there may be some ballads, on tap. Anything, um, anything else in particular, or just about that set?
Well, I will say you're right. We have some ballads in order. I would say there's some Brazil that will
Ah,
sure
nice,
a touch of Brazil. Definitely some classics for sure. Some classics. Some beautiful ballads. Some fun swinging up tempo songs. I mean, it's really going to be a whole mix of things, right?
nice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see, and we're trying to make sure it's a wide range of composers too, and we'll talk about, the date it was composed and the composer, give a little something about it. So it's going to be a nice set.
Well, we are really looking forward to it, obviously. I guess I didn't mention, and not that this is overly important, but we've you know we've taken the excuse. Again, we're having two amazing duos at this performance, um, as the way to sort of highlight the fact that our piano's turning 100 years old, and we're sort of making what little we can of that. But it's nice at least to have two people who've been at that piano before both be coming back to play it again. So we're really looking forward to that. Um, so thank you so much for spending some time with us, and we really can't wait. Again, the show is Saturday, March 28th. Two sets at 6 and at 7:30. You're the 7:30 set. And in addition to the live audience in the room, we will be live on Facebook. So we hope that a lot of people tune in.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be great.
We're so
All
looking
right.
forward
We
Thanks,
will
to
see
Donna.
you
it.
soon.
Yes, see you soon,
Thanks,
Ashtonwood.
guys.